Hey YouTube, how's it going? Mike the Manic Geek here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a wireless gaming headset from Tritton Audio. This is their Kunai Wireless Headset, and this is a Mad Catz brand that they acquired about 5 years back. So we're going to take a closer look here, see what the build quality is like, see what they feel like, and go ahead and put the speakers and the microphone through its paces and see if this is worth your hard-earned cash. So we're going to start off with the headset itself, and the first thing that I noticed was the glossy plastic that they used here. It's not the worst material in the world in the case of a set of headphones, and in the case of the white ones, it actually does an extremely good job of concealing fingerprints on this. It's also a reasonably malleable plastic. It doesn't have the greatest degree of flex in the world, and once it gets near the edges of its tolerances, it feels a little like it might snap, but that's just the nature of this kind of plastic in the first place. You also get a pretty large range of adjustments for the sides of the bands, as well as for tilt and swivel on the cups themselves. And the cups and the headband use nice supple padding on there. It's not anything that's overly dense, and the fabric does feel really nice while you're wearing it. It doesn't really get in the way of anything. Clamping force on these, I would not advise using these if you're planning on doing any sort of running or working out with them, because while they do stay on your head pretty reasonably well, any sort of excessive physical activity is likely to cause these to fall off. You also have all of your controls positioned on the left ear cup, which includes your volume, mic, and your 3.5mm input for connecting to a different device, as well as your power button and your microphone, which we'll get into later. Now, as previously mentioned, this is a wireless headset, so another thing that's included in the packaging is a wireless receiver for it. I kind of feel like visually there was a bit of a missed opportunity here, since even though the model that I got is a white headset, this is still black, and I suspect that that's going to be the case for every version of this headset that you get. Another missed opportunity here was with regard to the back of the headset. Now, you guys are noticing that I have this mounted on the wall right now. Now, this is not something that's natively supported with this receiver, but it's light enough that you could very easily do this with just a single section of the thick double-sided tape here. And I feel like that's something that probably should have been included to give users the option to move the cables even further away from your gaming experience. But that being said, it does still have rubber feet on the bottom of it to keep it from sliding around excessively on you. And there is a blue light that indicates a level of connectivity. It'll be flashing if there's a problem with connectivity or if it's not present, and it'll glow solid blue when everything's connected properly. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we were going to get into the microphone here. The built-in mic feels kind of flimsy to first use it. It's using more of that glossy plastic stuff with what feels like a rubberized plastic extension piece in the center. But it does conceal extremely cleanly back into a crack on the side of the speaker cup, and sound quality on this microphone is fantastic. This is probably one of the best boom mics that's built into a gaming headset that I've personally ever used before, and I'll go ahead and give you guys a listen to that.
This is a recording of voice quality as heard through the Mad Catz Tritton Kunai Wireless Headset. Use this as a reference to determine whether or not sound quality is acceptable for your needs.
So, like we mentioned before, this is a wireless headset, and unfortunately that means that at all times, even if it's plugged into a different device, you're still going to need batteries to power it. It takes 2 AA batteries, which are supplied with you in the packaging, but I would still plan on investing on better batteries sooner rather than later, because the supplied batteries that I got really only lasted about a week in this headset. Now, actually getting to the batteries on these is actually surprisingly pain-free. It's just a magnetic clip on the right cup for the headset that just effortlessly pries off. There is also a plastic tab on the inside here that helps hold the batteries in place, which is also incredibly easy to replace and remove, and it does have some padding on the inside of it as well, so those batteries aren't moving anywhere once you get them installed. Now, this thing does come equipped with 40mm neodymium magnet speaker cones here. They're not bad, but as the stigma goes with a gaming headset, and the fact that it's wireless, there is a bit of a sacrifice to make here. The soundstage that's produced here is reasonably large-ish. It could stand to be a bit more expansive. Mids could stand to be a little bit brighter here, and the bass is just a touch muddy. Essentially, anyone that's a hardcore audiophile is probably not going to be overly impressed by the sound reproduction here. That being said, when you're sitting down and gaming with them, these cones sound pretty reasonably good and do an excellent job of isolating directional noise really well, and they provide a nice clean seal around your ear for a really immersive gaming experience, which really is the point of a headset like this. Now, as far as the first time using these things is concerned, it was relatively easy for me to get these sized to my head. Again, clamping force is not overly heavy with this headset, and they are extremely light, so they're really inobtrusive in that way. Again, I'll go ahead and post somewhere on the screen here the dimensions for my head so you guys can sort of figure out for yourselves based on your dimensions how this is going to fit for you. The one thing I will mention, however, is that these are essentially designed to be an on-ear headset rather than an over-the-ear headset. So anyone with larger ears might have a slightly more difficult time adjusting these to be comfortable for you, but it is possible. Now let's talk compatibility for a second here, because this headset is compatible with all of the things. Probably the only thing that isn't mentioned in the instructions for this headset in terms of compatibility is the Xbox One. Though it does have Xbox 360 compatibility, so I would imagine that it would work with an Xbox One, but I can't confirm that. So Xbox One owners out there, if you guys have any experience with this headset, I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. Now, if all of these cables seem a little intimidating to you in terms of figuring out what to use where, the instructions that are supplied for this headset are probably some of the best I've ever seen. They're extremely cleanly laid out. It's all pictorial diagrams, so there's not even necessarily a need to even be able to read English per se, or even have a whole lot of translation going on. Because not only are there very clear pictorial diagrams to use, but everything in the diagram is labeled based on a master label sheet that's also inside that gives you a breakdown of what each of the cables looks like, including any of the different colorations that are on the cable to help you identify it. Now, as far as identification is concerned, when you're messing around with the cables, almost every single cable that's supplied with this headset has the Tritton branding on it, so there's never going to be any confusion as to what cables go with what. In general, the entire package here was a really clean and enjoyable experience. Yes, sound is not audiophile quality here, and I don't really think anyone was expecting it to be. But what I wasn't expecting it to be was reasonably decent. This absolutely blows away my first-gen Corsair Vengeance headset that I've been using by a huge margin, and especially the Thermaltake headset that my fiance was using up until recently. This just makes all of those options feel really subpar, even considering that they have hardline connections for them to get a cleaner audio signal. Now, even as far as wireless signal strength is concerned here, this has a maximum range of about 33 feet from the receiver with which to receive sound. Now, essentially, within the confines of the apartment that I live in, both myself and my fiance were able to walk around most of the apartment, and only near the very furthest edges did we have any of the sound cutting out for us at all. I'm even able to go on the other side of the wall into our bedroom and still be getting sound from the computer without any noticeable degradation. Maybe an occasional hiccup here or there, but apart from that, I'm hugely impressed with the range that this thing has. I'm also really impressed with, again, the sound quality of the microphone. I'm also impressed with the feature that this headset has that lets you know that the batteries are getting low. It'll beep for you twice every couple of minutes every time the batteries start getting low to let you know ahead of time, hey, you need to either change the batteries or switch to something that doesn't require external power. Alright guys, so it's conclusion time, and I had to go back and film this one a couple of times because I wasn't really sure how I wanted to approach the conclusion on this product. It's an interesting one, to be sure. As gaming headsets go, this probably has some of the best sound quality that I've heard from one in a long time, and that's even considering that this is a wireless product. So as far as the wireless implementation is concerned here, they did a phenomenal job on this in getting maximum sound quality out of these speakers. It's not quite audiophile grade, not at all, so don't get that confused there. It's still a gaming headset. But as gaming headsets go, this one genuinely surprised me with sound quality. The boom mic that's supplied offers crisp, clear sound, so that there's never going to be any miscommunication with anything that you're trying to tell your game mates while you're doing an online gaming session with them. They're comfortable, they're light, they're easy to adjust on your head, and the wireless functionality definitely makes for a more enjoyable experience where you're not having to worry about draping a cable over either of your shoulders or anything. But battery life. Battery life is always going to be the biggest problem with wireless peripherals, and unfortunately, it remains a problem with the Tritton Kunai here. If having to replace batteries a minimum of 2 to 3 times a month is a sacrifice that you're willing to make for the sake of wireless functionality, then this is definitely a headset worth considering. However, if you're interested in a more audiophile grade sound experience and you don't really care one way or another about whether or not the headset is wireless, there are more practical options out there for you that have a reduced cost over time factor put into them. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What's your personal take on the Tritton Kunai headset? Have any of you used it before? Let me know about some of your experiences that you had with it down in the comments. Also, perhaps some of you guys may have seen that MMOTE mouse that was in some of the B-roll footage that I made earlier. Give me a thumbs up in the video if you'd like to see me go ahead and take a look at that mouse for you guys as well. I'd love to take a look at it for you. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Special thanks to Mad Catz for sending me this headset for review. If you haven't done so already, head over to my main page for the YouTube channel and follow me so you can get more content like this. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down and a share like you do, how you do. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy, YouTube.